right now. And then music. Shoot. Share. Computer sound only. Give me a thumbs up if you hear the music, okay? I'm gonna record now.
Are you listening to me? You're both of you nuts.
Why do this? Why not?
You could ask yourself a question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. It's that simple.
And people are always looking for something to be recreationally outraged at.
Are we clear? Are we clear?
Who said that? Nobody, huh? Ah! That's the war face! Now let me see your war face! Ah!
I've got 2 months juice left!
Here we go. We talked about all week. Do you trust Jimmy Garoppolo with the Super Bowl to balance series? This is Jimmy's moment.
Everything we got now. Everything we got.
But a handoff to Mostert. Nice cutback run and a big run for Raheem. Out across the 30.
Great job. Great job, Heem.
Jimmy will throw on first down, throws the out cut to Kittle. Kittle gets up the sideline. Fuller's going to grab him. Oh!
I believe in him. I believe in him, baby.
3rd down and 10. Garoppolo in the gun. He has Kittle to his right. He has Raheem Mostert to his left.
Come on, Dean. Got 7. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Here we go. Sorensen showing blitz. Here he comes. 3rd down. Deep shot.
Get there.
For Emmanuel Sanders, he overthrew. Emmanuel Sanders ran right through the coverage.
That would have been a touchdown.
Dude, the whole time, actually, by the 3rd quarter, I was thinking to myself, you know, Joe Montana wouldn't allow that to happen. And he had, 3 minutes, 18 seconds, and he had to drive 95 yards. And I kept on thinking to myself, if we had Joe Montana at this time, at this very game, this wouldn't have happened. And everything would have been cool. Nothing would have been uptight. And it's like I look at this and I realize we don't have Joe Montana.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Now it's 4th and 10 for the 49ers at the Kansas City 49-yard line at 1:33 to go in the game.
Hey! Stay deep in the defense! Nothing get behind us!
Get ready. They don't get it. We need a 3 and out. We still got 3 timeouts.
Jimmy Garoppolo needs to make a play here.
Garoppolo in the pocket. He's being hit. He's being wrapped up. It'll go as a flag.
And the game was actually over before this. I mean, when I was watching it, the game was over way before this. I was just like, I laid down on my bed and I was just like barely looking. I was just barely looking up and I'm like, yeah, he's not going to make it. So, I mean, I already accepted that. I was like, okay, Joe Montana's on the field. A lot of people put in the faith into this guy. And, you know, hey, he made a mistake. He's still young. I get it. But, yeah, man, this one happened if we had the team of the 80s playing this. How do you guys feel about that? Nobody wants to talk about. You guys are so butthurt, huh?
Nah, not really.
I actually have a really funny thing about that. I actually was at a local pub in Oakland watching it, sitting up in the VIP room with everybody, and I remember the last few minutes I left because I was all like, it was 2020 for so long, and I was all like, oh look, and then the KC started taking the lead, and I was all like, oh snap. At this point, I'm pretty drunk already. You know, been drinking and eating all afternoon. But I think it was funny because it was all like you were hoping, and the funniest thing that happened to me right when this was all going down, my boy texts me, and he goes, "Hey, yo, I know you love the 49ers, but it's strictly business, man."
Mm-hmm.
And that was the little quote I got from my boy texting me. It's strictly business. as in he won a couple $100.
Nice.
Wow.
You know, he loves the 49ers too, but he was all like, I bet my cousin for some money, and so I was rooting for them to lose. I was all like, wow.
No, there's nothing wrong with that because I do the same thing too, man. It's like if I'm gonna make a bet on a game, I'm gonna look at injury report. I'm gonna look at everything.
Yeah, take
and, then I'm gonna pick statistically the winner. I'm not gonna pick like who I'm rooting for. I'm just gonna pick the statistically
who's got the better shot.
Pretty much. I mean, I didn't make any bets on this game, so I didn't lose anything.
I don't know. We were watching.
Funny that 49ers actually thought they had it in the bag when they all kind of made that touchdown and then ran up to the the end zone.
Oh yeah,
They're
that
all,
was
closing together.
like no way.
We got this, and then 15 minutes later.
At that point, I was like, they're getting cocky, and they were ahead. Was it 2010?
Yeah.
I said, this is a boring game, and I don't know. Maybe I jinxed it. Not, but
that
I
was
said,
a boring game.
It was
Really?
so boring. I was watching, and then I said at one point, I said, dude, I want Chiefs to come and get it now. Because I just thought the 49ers weren't playing the way they ought to have been playing. I just watched them like, oh, they just they thought they had it in the bag. They weren't giving their best. And at some point, it's like, watch the Chiefs get it. Sure enough.
So it was you.
Yeah, it could have been me.
You
Blame me.
It was you.
Nah, it wasn't exciting toward the end.
Yeah. Although, I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen. I mean, like the past 2 games before the Super Bowl, like Chiefs, I saw the pattern. It's like they were getting their butts handed to them, but then all of a sudden, like they come back and win the game. 2 games in a row. And I was like thinking, man, what if they do this at the Super Bowl too? And sure enough, they did it too. It's like, man, Niners got this. Like, oh crap, Niners ain't got this.
Yeah, they look a little too strong. So they looked a little too strong. But anyway, I mean, I don't want to go more on like with my disgust and how it's like, oh man, we lost another Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? It's like you might as well lose 3 more. Just so that you can get in the record books. But anyway, 2-5 is not, or 5-2 is really not that bad.
No, it's not bad. The fact that we even made it to the Super Bowl. Come on now.
Yeah. We were only supposed to win 4 games this season, right?
Right.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know about you guys, but I pretty much didn't even pull up my Facebook because I knew what was going to be waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Y'all seen like all the memes and gifs of like the game?
Yeah, I saw a couple, but I didn't see any real mean ones. I mean, they were just repeats of stuff that was made like 15 years ago or 10 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah, it's the same stuff, man. I've heard it all before. They just transferred into memes. You know what I mean? They transferred it into graphics. But all I knew is this, like, I mean, you're talking about the coach Shanahan, right? He used to be offensive coordinator for Atlanta, and I've been bagging on Atlanta for at least the last 15 years because they have all these trick plays and they put all their cards on the table in the first half and they can't answer in the second half. And I'm like, okay, I remember when Shanahan was over there as offensive coordinator, he was pulling out all these great plays, but he really has nothing to finish the game.
Mm-hmm.
And most of it was just by luck on the defense. I mean, how do you think we survived against Green Bay? We survived because of defense.
Yeah.
Because the offense couldn't put any more than that. And I'm like, oh, people already celebrate. Anyway, doesn't matter. Andy Reid, I like Andy Reid. And
yeah, me too.
Andy Reid, he comes from, he's part of the Bill Walsh tree.
Mm-hmm.
He was under Mike Holmgren, So Holmgren went over to Green Bay, won their Super Bowl for them, and then out of that came Andy Reid. So, I look at it as, this is another Bill Walsh win for me. So I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that the Niners lost, but I'm okay with I'm really okay with it. And so I'm not even saying next year. I don't know. I guess I could say great season. I haven't come around to that yet. I have problems.
Why wouldn't you say great season? It was a great season. They weren't even supposed to make it that far.
No, that's true.
Yeah, that's something I never heard though. I guess I never heard that.
You never heard the pundits talking?
I never heard like, oh, they weren't supposed to win. I mean, I'm not trying to make myself feel good about it, just by saying that and giving credit. But I mean, come on, man. It's like, everyone started celebrating when they made it to the playoffs, and then they won their first playoff game, and then they won their second playoff game, and I'm like, this doesn't. And then when they won the NFC Championship, don't mean anything until you win the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean anything. No one's gonna
Until you get the ring.
I'm not going to remember it. Do you remember who the Niners won to get the NFC Championship in 2012? 5 seconds passed by. Come on, guys. See? No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? None of that matters until you win the Super Bowl. But I guess I hope we can try again next year, and we can put the more pieces together. But we don't have a Joe Montana. Definitely don't. Wish we did.
You don't think Garoppolo is going to make it?
You think he is?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I don't know. I think he's gonna. Well, it starts at the top. It starts at the coaching.
Mm-hmm. But you love the coach.
No, I don't love the coach. I never said I love the coach, man.
You don't love the coach.
But he fell into that pattern where he does all these trick plays right in the beginning, and then what do you have? And then he depends on the defense on the last half, to keep that lead, and that's not how you play. So
he got conservative.
Yes, he wasn't taking any more risks.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of coaches done that too. Yeah.
It's like they're scared. And that's the way traditionally how Atlanta plays all the time. They'll win like 10 games straight towards the end, make it to the Super Bowl, and they'll choke.
I never knew that pattern. Gosh.
Oh. Well, I mean, they do it like in groups of like 3 years. So like they'll have like a really good streak, like not every 3 years, but they'll have like a 3-year period where it's like they'll be really streaky. And then they'll make it to Super Bowl, on that third year, because they usually keep the same staff. And then after that, it's nothing,
That happened during the hardball era as well, right?
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah,
they were hot.
That. They got really conservative during the postseason.
They were playing like they were scared.
Yeah.
They were playing.
Well, more like the coaches were calling it like they were scared. The players were ready to go, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, the coaches were playing it like, we're not here to, okay, let's keep the lead. Not let's win the game. Let's just protect the lead.
Yeah.
And, it's like, come on. Anyway, that kind of depressed me, but I think I'm okay. A lot of people at my work were pinging me and having their laughs, and all I can say is your team didn't make it, so what do you got? They're like, oh, we got yeah, it didn't make it. So that's just me. Anyway, off to the next thing, man. When I found this thing right here, myths and facts.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and it started to look good.
Until
it started to look okay. Oh, I can't scroll down. Crap. Can you guys still read this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
I'll extend it right there.
Yeah, I should believe
right there.
I read.
Yeah, so first one, okay. Total fact. And Kente, I think I heard you talking about more of like the last two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I was talking about that on my other thing.
Yeah, well, enlighten us, because I just saw this and I'm like, oh, I think this would be great to talk about.
Well, I saw on the news on an article that I posted up on my other podcast. It was the French community, Chinese community, that came out because they're getting that xenophobia that's going around in France. Apparently, they're hating on Asians for just wearing a mask, even though in Western culture, we're not acceptant of wearing a mask because we usually cover up, with our elbows and stuff like that, or our hands. And then in Asia, like in Japan, during SARS and Hong Kong and stuff, everybody's just used to wearing a mask.
Yep.
So, that's that way that you don't catch or infect anybody. But people feel like when you wear that mask that you actually have the disease. You're carrying that bacteria or that virus or whatever that might be that you have. And so, that community and a lot of other people in California are expressing their form of xenophobia. And it's, how can I put it? It's damning really bad because you have a lot of, like they said, misinformed people that don't understand viruses or anything like that, but they see a face mask and they don't want you in the room. I've also seen a couple of Facebook videos where they're making funny videos of a guy going, I want to get some ice cream, so he coughs and everybody leaves the room. And that was not funny at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will send you those links. I have those.
Is it like it was like a little video, kind of like,
it was like a commercial almost,
but it was supposed to show like it was funny, right?
Yeah, like it was supposed to be funny, but that silly propaganda can go both ways for lots of people, depending on where you're at. So I mean, so that was one of the things, and then I was just trying to see if anybody noticed anything on their end. If they've been hearing about it. That was one of the issues that, I was having with my podcast that we were talking about.
No, I haven't heard it. Well, maybe I'm just hermit, but I haven't heard any, look, I haven't experienced anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're going to use the word xenophobia, which I didn't know that word existed until 2014.
Oh,
That's a word that I never used. So I think I know what it means. Isn't it kind of, it's related to almost like prejudice, racism type?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. With no, it's usually used during immigration.
Yeah. It says here, dislike of or prejudice against people from other countries.
Wait, so how does dislike come from phobia? I mean, how does that translate? I don't I don't even know.
You're basically targeting.
Yeah, exactly.
You're basically targeting a group of people based on where they're from and dispelling myths or rumors or whatnot. I mean, that's what we're doing. I mean, well, that's what people are doing here, right? Or in France or
in France. That's
yes.
where that's the first signal of where it came. The community had came out and said something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's France, dude. That's okay.
Oh, people are doing it here. People are doing.
For a country that's supposed to, hey, France is weird. The guy a couple years back, there was this one guy that was saving a kid from a falling building.
Yeah.
Climbed up the side of the side of the building.
Yeah.
Like, 7 or 6 floors, saving the kid, and then I think President Macron gave him citizenship.
Oh
wow!
It's like that. It's like you care so much about our people, blah blah blah. And that was actually even featured on Tosh.0.
Oh.
It was kind of weird. It was just like a joke, like, look at this guy just leap through buildings and stuff. Hilariously funny.
That's interesting.
Superman.
Yeah. Here you go. We give him citizenship.
I don't know if I'd give him citizenship right away. I think I'd put him on a fast track, though.
Citizenship.
Say it again.
They gave him and they gave the guy that saved and his friend that was with him citizenship. It was like that. Bam. Well, you can just 2 people. It's not like that's doing anybody a harm.
Yeah.
He just, I think they were from Nigeria or something like that. They're from North Africa.
Oh, okay. Well, let me backtrack about here, because there's here on number 3 it says I need to buy a hazmat suit and an N95 mask to stay protected, and it says washing hands is the best, which I believe that's very true. I just think the N95 mask would probably work better if you were in an enclosed space.
Yeah, you don't need to buy a hazmat suit.
I would like one though.
But sure, I think the 95 mask is something that would be great. And if anything, I think for those who are, um, I mean, for those of us who don't want to get sick, but I think especially for those who may have the cough or may have the sniffles, I think it would be a good idea since their immune system's already compromised as is. Nothing wrong with having some extra armor on you.
What do you guys think about the still about the virus in itself? What do you think about all those people that came off the plane today? They're stuck in Travis Air Force Base, for the next 2 weeks to be quarantined. I thought that was all over the news this morning.
Well, they're quarantining anyone that's coming through, right? I mean, if they're only supposed to go through 5 major ports or airports, and they're being checked there. But are they doing anything special I didn't hear at Travis.
So yeah, they're just putting them in barracks
and
just letting them stay there at this point for the next 14 days to keep an eye on them to make sure that there isn't, they don't have the disease or they're carrying it or anything like that. Because you don't necessarily need to catch it. It could stay on your clothes or whatnot.
Ooh.
So that it's one of those. It's an airborne thing.
Yeah.
That you might have brushed up against somebody, but it stays dormant.
Right.
The first case was that guy in San Jose with his wife, where he came back, didn't have any problems. His wife caught it from whatever he brought back home, and then he caught it right after his wife got it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't like
highly contagious.
Mm-hmm.
They say that you need to be roughly about. It's like the danger zone is within 6 feet.
Holy moly!
Damn. Okay.
Stay away.
So, generally speaking, if you don't have to deal with the public, or you see somebody, just make sure you're standing on the other side of the counter.
Okay, I know this is silly. But I have avoided. This is one of the reasons why I have avoided going to church in the last 2 Sundays.
Good for you.
Because I'm like, wait a minute. Do we have people who actually visited China lately? And I think we do.
Well, that's nice to know that your church is diverse and you have tons of Chinese people that go there.
Or other people. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, there's some people coming. I mean, there were some people, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stay home. I'm gonna chill for a little bit because I don't want to catch it through my kids and stuff.
So, I mean, is it just really strictly all those people that are from Wuhan province?
No, anybody that's leaving China right now.
Just China, period.
China
is
period.
a hotbed of germs. I mean,
pretty much.
It's a bigger risk. I mean, I would think it's a bigger risk. You know, so I mean, I think it would be a bigger risk if people are coming out now than if they came home in December.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they came home in December, I think there was a very good chance that they probably missed it. But then anyone who arrived in January, maybe till January 10, I think would be okay. But anything after that, it's I don't know.
Well, it's been going around since December, so I mean,
yeah.
Since they made the major report, so
it was mid-December when. So a little scary.
But the flu still has the upper hand.
Okay, so I was wondering, and so I'm glad you explained that in France that this thing is happening because
I saw it on USA Today, and DW Journal.
Right.
I was just looking online when I was talking about it, and it was just kind of like, oh wow, this is interesting. I didn't think that other communities would come out and say something about it, but I'm more afraid that there's going to be more misinformation and more these silly stupid videos and commercials that are going to paint a really bad picture for Asian Americans in general. I'm not saying just because you're Chinese, because I mean your average Western counterpart isn't going to be able to tell the difference if he's already lumping people up.
Mm.
Right, yeah. I didn't know that this was going to become a thing though.
Yeah.
As I mean, of course, we have people that are just that are really uninformed, and they it's kind of like gosh, I don't want to say anyone's name, but it's kind of like how I know someone. Let's just say this: I know a pastor's wife who once told me, "You better be careful. about that acupuncture because that could be worshiping the devil. And I'm like, yeah, you don't know, dude. You don't know. You and all your
Really?
PhD degrees.
She said that?
Yeah, she straight up said that, dude. And I was all like,
No way.
acupuncture has been around for probably more than 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. But here, the thing that stuck out to me was misinformation and racism is more dangerous than any virus. Check for references and look for evidence, not ideology.
Ideology. Yeah. Well,
And-
you have a lot of ideologues that aren't gonna sway from how they see somebody because you're wearing a mask.
Right, but this thing kind of pertains to a lot of other people in different situations.
Yeah.
Especially here, like look for evidence. Yeah, that don't happen.
Man, how many people do research?
that doesn't happen. I mean, it doesn't even have to be about this. It could be about anything, like how back then, like how it was about HIV.
Mm.
Hey, man, that guy's still alive.
Right.
Sorry, that's all I can think of. That guy's still alive.
He's still going strong.
No, it's called money.
Yeah, I understand.
South Park episode.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just people not. Dude, I came across so many videos, so many scare videos, and people are like, all suddenly they're all experts. And it's like, oh, well, this is gonna wipe out the world.
Oh goodness.
And I've been around that block before. I've been around it. Like this whole. I started tapping into. I don't know if you guys ever like watched any what they call prepping videos about these people who are preppers. I mean, does everyone know who a prepper is?
No, please enlighten me.
So
No.
a prepper is someone who is actually preparing for the ultimate worst world catastrophe.
Oh, you mean for the apocalypse?
And yeah, apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
Without rule or law. When zombies were in and they're like, oh my gosh, if zombies did this,
But secretly everybody dreams of that. Come on.
What? They dream of it?
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
I mean, some people, like I've heard for silliest reasons, and I say this from like as a Walking Dead fan. If you were a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Like some people want to like they want to do the whole Lost series. It's like, oh snap, I'm lost. Everybody's gone. I get to like redo my no credit score, no nothing.
I see.
Man off the land. It's like start all over again. None of that fictitious made up stuff. That pulled out of thin air.
Joy, you're in a way you were kind of like a prepper too.
How so? How would you say?
Illegally housing chickens.
I was not doing. Oh yeah, they were illegal, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get a permit for the extra 2 chickens.
It's crazy. Dude.
I don't have them any longer because the darn raccoons got them. But yeah, it was lovely actually. I mean, I was having a conversation about this and how was it? Maybe it was with you. How we can't collect rainwater.
Yeah.
How we can't have extra cell batteries charging up because I've got solar at the moment, but I would love to find a way to charge up other things.
I thought you can't.
We can't, but
what do you mean you can't? Really, on paper you can't?
We're not supposed to. We're only supposed to use whatever our battery is able to hold. That's all the storage.
Okay, well that's a contract thing, right? Not a law thing, right?
Oh.
You can tap into
it's not a law. It's not a law thing. I don't believe that. As long as if you buy another battery to store that, you can do that.
I probably could.
They probably wouldn't know.
Well, usually, don't you cycle that back into the to the main grid and they pay you for it?
Yes. If there's any overage and they're able to use it, yes. Well, not even they use it. If there's overage.
So in a way that's a way of prepping. Because I
guess so.
Dude, if we had and we did have blackouts, right?
It was actually very highly useful during those blackouts, the PG&E blackouts. Oh my gosh. We were only one of 3 houses on, 10 blocks long.
Right.
Yeah, same
that
here.
had. So
I became a prepper. Like I think the year right before Obama went into office.
So that was
Because
2007.
yeah, so because I started. I was getting into it, and then I think I full on became a prepper, probably like in 2011, more in 2011.
4 years later.
Because then I was in Concord. I was we had our own spot. I had my own garage, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna store some water, and then that's how it started. It started with like 12 weeks of water. And then I started collecting food. And then
do you still have that same food and water?
No. No, we actually gave it away because I didn't want to carry. I didn't want to.
Oh, I see. Doing the move back.
So I'm actually starting to rebuild on that because of the blackouts. So now I put more priority into energy so that I could, address the whole issue of keeping my fridge running and some lights. But anyway, yeah. So when I got into the whole prepping thing, I mean, I wasn't scared, but I was doing it because I thought it was cool. That's when I started getting more into like getting backpacks and fire starters and knives and hydration packs and matches in the rain, and like notebooks you can write in the rain.
So I'm coming over to your house.
No, you're not, dude. No. No, don't come over.
I am.
But anyway, yeah, so I started getting into that, and it's funny because like I even went to a couple meetups where these preppers would get together, and they, how they tricked out their trucks and how they tricked out their cars. I even went to one where we did a simulation that all of San Francisco was in fire and experiencing earthquakes, and we did this 12-mile hike throughout San Francisco, and I was like well into it. I wasn't scared, but I can see how people can be influenced just a little bit by just watching some of these YouTube videos. And right now I'm watching the same thing. There's this one called Patriot Nurse, and she's just like scaring everyone like, well, I'm a nurse and I know better, and you better watch out. Oh, actually I should pull up some of her videos, but just her whole like attitude is, at that time, like right now she's talking about the coronavirus, but back then she was talking about how like there's going to be a civil war. And I'm like, there's not going to be no civil war. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I think we're okay. I think we're going to be okay for this coronavirus. I don't think there's anything to be too alarmed about. But I will tell you this, man. I think I've been washing my hands like 7 times a day.
That should be normal. I wash my hands more than that.
Really?
I work on cars. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know who washes their hands 7 times. I know I don't.
Even if when I was a school teacher, I used to wash my hands. Gosh, I don't know how many goddamn times I used to wash my hands.
Well, I mean, if you had like all these students, I mean, these crazy kids, yeah.
Well, we're just saying.
It's an easy precautionary thing to do. So I'll wash my hands as many times as need be.
Well, okay. Especially if you're a teenager, you should wash your face every time you go to the bathroom. Just saying, acne's a bitch.
Okay, I'm going to talk to these guys here, okay? Now, really, just be real with me, okay? At one point in your life, okay, especially about washing hands and using the public restroom, you never washed your hands if no one else was in the bathroom.
I've got boys.
If someone was just walking in, dude, if someone was just walking in, you're like, oh, let me wait till he entered the stall. Okay, I'll just turn on the water, turn it off, grab a towel.
No freaking way.
At one point in your life, as a guy, I know that has happened.
Only because someone threw up in the sink. Hey, I've been to a lot of bars. Okay, I'm just saying. But I will hands down tell you right now, I wash my hands every time I can. There's no reason to. I'm a guy that knows that I'm not worried about getting my hands dirty just because it's a part of the job. But at the same point, it's like, dude, it only takes a few minutes to wash your hands. So always wash your hands when you can. That's just good practice. It's the same thing about like putting the seat down. I mean, I grew up with 4 sisters. So
Oh, you're the best. I
Oh, no,
love you.
No, Joy, no, you don't. You
Thank
hate me more
you.
because I'd be like, no, man, these girls are nasty. It's like
Girls are
the
nasty.
hell?
Boys
The
are
hell?
nasty. Oh,
My trash
Lord.
can, I used to barely just throw it about maybe every 2 weeks. You know, there wasn't a lot of stuff I'd throw in there, maybe mainly Q-tips and stuff. My gosh, there's like wads and wads of toilet paper in there for no reason. You know, they go in the toilet. It's toilet paper in the trash.
I can't speak to your sisters.
Oh, tell that to my lady.
Oh, my
Same
Lord.
thing.
Man, talk about bathrooms. I remember in college when I was in the Philippines. Now, mind you, it was pretty. What's the word? Humid, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a natural thing. Like I would clean my bathroom probably once a week. Lysol and everything, right? But I did a test and I wanted to find out what was going on because I remember like on the 6th day, like right before I have to, I was going to clean the bathroom. I knew some girls that were using my bathroom and I let them. It was okay.
Because it
whatever.
was clean?
Well, I guess. And I thought that they would keep it clean. But I remember during this 3-week break we had. And she was constantly using my bathroom. I was like, okay, that's cool. But then I zeroed in on it because I was like, how come, what's all this black stuff growing on my toilet seat? Like,
Mold.
Yeah.
Mold.
And I'm like thinking, wait a minute, when I use the bathroom and nobody else uses it, there's no mold. So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, and when another female uses it, there was no mold. But this one particular person, every time she uses it on the 6th day, boom, it would be mold. I'm like, dude, this is weird.
Day.
I don't understand.
The day of
I don't,
reckoning.
I can only think of a bunch of bad guy jokes off of that.
I don't get it though. Why would there be mold? I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just thinking, what is she, like acidic or something? Because she was always, she's this little short girl, and she was like always pissed off and like, trying to tell people what to do. And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking like, but look at your piss. I mean, look what you leave. It cleans up great, but there's all this mold. I'm like,
great.
I'm like, what's going on?
It's like, you have to ask her one question though.
What?
Are you using vinegar and baking soda, or are you just using like no chlorine or bleach?
I mean, at one point, I thought I was going to get her some Massengill or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you went there. My gosh. Cut.
Oh. What?
Roy, I've got nothing to say about you. About that, I'm like, yeah, even I know not to go there.
And we're gonna move on. Speaking of bathrooms, though.
Yeah, try doing it in a crack in a hole.
Oh Lord. Well, sorry. A friend of mine was at. She works out at this 24-hour, and there was a dude in the private sauna, and he went to take a shower as well. This is at a 24-hour. So my friend and a bunch of other ladies were waiting it out because, they didn't want to go in there with a naked man hanging out. But after 20 minutes, she just bounced. She was like,
how do they know it's a dude?
She saw. They saw. I mean, there's ladies obviously in there.
Wait, he's walking around naked?
Well, he went to use the sauna and he went to take a shower.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd be showered. Well, you wouldn't be in a shower with clothes on, right? And in a sauna, you
but don't you have
probably
curtains
wouldn't
for a shower? Don't you have curtains for a shower?
Well, think of the sauna. The sauna wouldn't have curtains.
Okay, I don't go to sauna, so I don't know what it's like, but I know like men have towels around themselves.
Not in 24-hour fitness.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
they sit with their balls hanging on like the wood?
That's in like Asia.
Oh yeah. No, they do. They do. On the one on Ocean, yes.
Ew.
Wait a minute. Wait. They don't sit on a towel. They put their butt and their balls on the wood.
Yes. Yes.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
What do you think? All that they get all that heat.
Scratching all the dead skin off their feet.
I think you guys all have a misconception of 24-hour fitness saunas, though. But yeah, I mean, clearly that guy broke the case there. But
well,
I will say this much. Back in my younger days, when I was in college, I actually worked for 24 Hour Fitness. Not the
Okay.
greatest things to say, but it's like I will say I did my my time there, and I did graveyard, and I also threw a huge rave there too. But I
No
think
way.
yeah, I think Jay, you know of those stories, right?
Yep. Good times.
back in the day, I threw those huge raves.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, you turn the basketball court into a rave,
Nice.
and then you change, and then some other stuff, but that's another story.
Wait, so go ahead.
I want to say, I've seen really weird stuff. I've even had members tell me there's this dude jerking off in the bathroom in the showers, staring at whatever, and I'm all like, oh, that's just great.
I've seen that happen before.
Exactly.
No way.
In Pacifica, yeah.
In Pacifica,
yeah.
Kind of doesn't surprise. No, just kidding.
Yeah, Pacifica. Yeah, this dude was jerking off, and it was. And this is when when there was no shower curtains.
Oh.
What?
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Let me. I didn't finish my story.
But go back to that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just so there's this dude, right? She waited out. She couldn't. But a few of the ladies actually told management or told the front desk.
Ooh.
And they knew it was a guy. The front desk people knew, but they said they couldn't do anything about it.
Because
if he identifies as, I don't know.
Oh, because no one wants to ask him the question if he identifies as a particular gender?
That's what I assume.
That's silly.
That's what I am
assuming. If I was working there, I'd have been like, someone told me, I'm like, I'd be like, oh man, I got to walk in there now. But to be honest, I wouldn't have said, I would have gone in there and pulled them out because, you have your female members that are, clearly in the right, and that's not in any way.
Isn't that the law though? I mean, you can't.
What do you mean? This is membership.
Yeah, but isn't there a law saying you can use any restroom that you feel comfortable with?
That doesn't apply to a place that you pay membership for, because they can always put that in the clause, which they have a clause in there to terminate you for any reason.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
You pay for a membership, they can always just return your thing and not accept you as a member.
So you, as a person that used to work at
that's all about who the management team is and how they want to run stuff. I mean, at any business, if you are paying for a membership, you can always revoke somebody's membership anytime.
But even if you did that, you could. What if the person? I mean, wouldn't you be afraid of a lawsuit because of the law?
You're in there half naked. Is that how the story went? Clearly, he's a man.
He's a man in the women's quarters.
No, California's passed all these really weird laws about transgender and pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that it's very silly. My personal belief, I only believe that biology will define it as two.
Yeah.
But that's just me. You can identify as whatever you like, but if you're gonna do the science portion, then you can't really dismiss the other part of that. You just can't go along with that. That's just me on my end. I think that. Yeah, if you are, but then you can't really. But then at that point, aren't you pandering to other people because you're trying to get attention for this? You're testing it.
Are you talking about that guy?
I don't know. Yeah. I think there was a case earlier years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where some guy, I think he got arrested for doing that. I don't know if it's the same guy, but I know that it did happen at the 124. I don't think we're going to mention what city, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, so, in the Bay Area, obviously, we're a Bay Area show.
Because I used to go to that one. I used to go there. Yeah, I mean, I know, but I know that there was a story that some guy actually got arrested for doing that. But now that it's a law, so I guess
don't know. 24 Hours has done a lot of bad things. I remember even in the North Bay, a gentleman when I was working decades ago. There was a guy, like no one was on watch. The guy was putting on 5 or 6 plates to do a bench press. Did one lift, thing fell on his neck, he died.
Oh damn!
And the guy worked graveyard, and he was home. He went home during his break, and then came back and found out the guy was dead. Had to make the call. Apparently he was,
dang.
yeah, I found out about this through the grapevine of 24-hour fitness. But this was also like, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe.
Oh, wow.
Wait. He was working the shift.
graveyard.
Then he went home right quick.
Because I
And then
guess he
he
lived
came
down the
back
street.
to a dead dude.
Yeah,
on
at
a
the
bench.
at the bench press.
Holy moly!
So,
What was this, like 3 a.m.?
I think so. About 3 or 4 a.m. It's graveyard. Graveyard starts at 10 and ends at 6.
Well, but then they would have also. They probably didn't have any signs or anything, right?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
what?
usually you want somebody to spot you.
You need a spotter.
Oh, you
after
need a
certain
spotter.
amount. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of crazy if you're talking about more than or 500 pounds. Or I mean, geez.
I really think it came down to, Joy, when that happened to you. I think it really came down to management and how they wanted to operate, and the fact that they didn't. I would file a complaint to management up top.
Yeah, it didn't happen to me per se. It happened to my friend,
whoever.
but yeah, they filed a complaint. But I think they're very shocked that management wouldn't do anything or said they couldn't.
I don't think I don't think there was even a management there. I think it was just front desk, considering the time that it happened, which was early morning at about 4 must have been 4 or 5 o'clock.
There should have been management.
That early in the morning, I
4 or 5 in the morning. No, management doesn't even roll in.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
that's how 24-hour fitness rolls.
Yeah,
they're not. They're your first wave of people come in at like 4, and that's the seniors.
Mm-hmm.
The people that come in between 12 and 4 are those people that are your success stories that that cry tears and from high school days. I used to be this big fat guy. I'm just saying, like, that's how it used to run. I mean, I worked at 24-hour fitness. I lost about 70 pounds. All I had to do was just run.
Congratulations.
It's nothing to congratulate. I've kept it off for 15 years.
No. Yeah. That's something to be celebrated.
Joy, if you saw some dude walk in, would you have taken action?
Not if he was naked.
So
I'm
if he was naked, or
I'm pretty sure he was naked. Heck yeah.
See, but here's my question about this. So, like, for people that don't want to, so obviously, if it's a guy, right, that's saying that he's a woman, I'm not gonna go into too deep with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he says that, is it the right of a woman to say that? Yo, no.
That's what I would say. However, I would say because I'm a paying member, I should let someone from 24-hour take care of it for me.
Exactly, but
that's where my stance is.
I'd be like, ma'am or sir, clearly the sign says female.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, how dare you? I can totally see how that played out.
Yeah, there's that possibility too, and that usually ends up pretty bad on the employee's part, and then I don't know, the complaint goes on to management, and then it's either, hey, you can fire this employee or face a.
Oh no, it's like they're not going to fire. They're going to do exactly what they did with Starbucks. We're gonna take a day off and we're gonna do about racial training.
And then they're gonna.
I didn't forget about that.
They're gonna put gender neutral bathroom signs all over the locker rooms.
And then they're gonna say you can just come in even though you're not a paying member. You're not gonna drink our coffee.
Start a movement for free gym free gym membership.
I kind of don't have a. I think I kind of don't have a problem with it.
What?
With exception if there's a minor in the locker room, then I think I would have a problem with it.
But who's to say when? I mean, there's always going to be. I mean, okay, let me take that back. Unless you're homeschooled, because I homeschool my kids, right? Okay, there's not going to be minors in there during the normal school hours, right? However, I mean, I would take issue. I don't want anyone looking at me. I don't want to look at you.
Well, I mean, you don't walk around naked in 24. I mean,
but who's to say I'm going to keep someone else from walking around naked? I'm not going to say just because I don't. I'm going to keep one of my fellow sisters to say, no, you can't either. That's their prerogative. And it's supposed to be private. I mean, that's the shower. That's the private sauna. Come
Okay,
on now.
I gotta take off a tangent here.
Okay, go.
Do you use a towel? Like, do women use towels in the sauna? Like, do they sit on the towel? Or they sit naked too.
Some women use sauna. I mean, use the towel. Some women will walk in. They'll come in with the towel and then they'll just drop it when they're there. I mean,
I don't think
You're welcome, Roy. You're welcome.
yeah, right.
That's what you have to reply back, but you're welcome.
I think most 24 their saunas are unisex, so I don't think you'd be going in naked per se.
But this one was a private sauna.
Yeah, so that's what made this special. It's a private sauna.
Yeah.
Someone's
Yeah.
in a wrong gender, or so
Right.
the person that's telling the story says that they did.
Yeah, I think if it was a unisex, then it wouldn't be an issue, right?
Right.
But
Most of the saunas at 24 Hour Fitness, like from the Magic Johnson sports gym, those bigger ones, or
Mhm.
your basic sports gyms, it's just because of the size. Those are always co-ed.
Yeah, for the most part, I remember most of them are co-ed. I don't remember the one they were at is private.
well, I'm reading it right now. I don't want to call out the city just because. I mean, I could, but
I know which one you're talking about.
you do.
Well, I don't know which one you guys are talking about. Good thing.
Just say it. Just say it's in the South.
It's Planet Fitness, man. No biases there.
Just say it's in the South Bay, dude.
But let me ask you guys this, because I actually go to a Planet Fitness, and they have that what's it called, the lunk alarm.
What's
that?
What's that?
That's when people make fun of you for being like an aggressor when lifting weights.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean someone?
I'm lifting this heavy weight. I want everybody to hear me. Oh.
And then they drop the weights.
Yeah.
It's like a judge-free zone. So
judge-free zone.
And so like there's that, and then also you can't wear like those muscle tank tops that show off all your muscles. Otherwise, like. Yeah, and like when any of that stuff happens, like it's like this blue alarm that's like on the back of like the gym, and it just like starts going off whenever something like that's happening, and we're all just looking around like, wait, everybody's like wearing the same like tank top. It's like, what's going on? Or is somebody just grunting too loud for a second there? Yeah, I mean, like if you guys go to the Planet Fitness, it's like. Have you guys ever been there at a time when the alarm went off? Or
yeah,
I never been there.
I have.
Okay. How often does that alarm go off when you were there?
Oh, like once an hour. But it was kind of like, oh, it's the hour on the clock. They were using it like that over in the North Bay.
And who controls that button?
Yeah.
I assume somebody in the front desk controls that.
Wow.
So wait, if someone is grunting too loud or breathing too hard, you can't do that?
No, you can't.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Well, see, the thing is, the advertisement for and the marketing strategy behind Planet Fitness is not like 24 Hour Fitness, where it's kind of more uppity. It's kind of like the Gap versus the Old Navy of like gyms.
Okay.
Like where things are a little cheaper. No one expects you to do more. There's no sauna. There's no steam room. There's no pool or any of that.
It's just basics.
It's just basics. You just want to come in. You want to lift some weights. You want to jog a little bit. That's really what it is. Just to kind of get you into it. I mean, obviously, if you're a extreme athletic person, you wouldn't be doing 20. Yeah, you wouldn't, go to Planet Fitness. You shouldn't, at least. You should be at like one of those private, like, workout places, boxing gyms or whatever, because you want to be specific. You're obviously, more energetic than your average bear.
You mean like Ready Fit?
Yeah. Ready Fit.
Because I'm ready fit.
No, but I think their campaign is more like that Weight Watchers, where there's no, you can't wear anything that shows off more skin. I remember there was a girl that got kicked out for wearing a sports bra.
Oh wow!
A while back, yeah, she got kicked out. So that whole kind of like Weight Watchers thing, where all the windows are blacked out, no shaming, and they're trying to make the people that are uncomfortable comfortable in that setting, right? So I that's why they have that little no judgment zone, all you know, all that type of whatever marketing they have.
That's interesting. I like the fact that it's a no judgment zone. However, aren't you judging the girl who's wearing the sports
Exactly.
bra, who's
Exactly.
probably
They're-
feeling super hot, super sweaty? Let me just take off my shirt. I don't know. It just seems like a double standard there.
It is. I mean, a lot of things they've done, you know, with it's just kind of hypocritical. I mean, you know, if you're not judging anyone, if you're claiming not to judge anyone, but but you actually are, right? Because you're calling. I mean, you know, you're making fun. You're actually, you know, getting the whole gym to notice someone is grunting by throwing that alarm on.
Well, I don't
Like
want to, but I don't want to just say that's all guys that do that. Like some girls do too. You know, there's buff ass chicks out there.
Yeah.
I follow one of them on Instagram.
I'm just kidding.
She's like the hottest chick ever.
Oh, what's her name? I'm gonna look her
Yuan
up.
Hong. Oh, you're gonna make me pull. I'm gonna pull her up on Instagram
Yeah,
right
pull her
now
up.
just to get
Pull her up.
I've been following her for the last. She's a Chinese bodybuilder.
Oh.
I know it sounds hella weird.
No, it doesn't.
But I think she looks really good as Chung Li.
Oh, the cosplay chick.
Who
is it? The cosplay?
No.
No.
How do you spell the name?
I'm trying to find her back up right now. I'm forgetting. Usually she always pops up right in my feed.
Check your favorites.
Okay. YUN. So YUANHERONG 1229.
Oh.
I think she's absolutely just gorgeous. Like for a bodybuilder. She used to be very thin as a model, but then she's like, I'm gonna start weightlifting, and she just got absolutely jacked. Yeah, that's her in Chung Li outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. She does the cosplay.
I've been following her for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think she's just one badass chick.
Yeah, she's definitely Chung Li. She definitely fits.
And she does Mai also.
Oh, what the hell? Yeah.
But you know, like when you see her work out at the gym and stuff like that on her Instagram, she grunts and stuff like that a little bit, but then it's also like she is at a nice facility where she can do that, you know?
Dang. I want to see her do that spinning bird kick.
Oh, she's very flexible. She does all these high kicks and stuff like that all the time.
Holy cow.
Yeah, exactly right. I just like
what's going on?
Yeah, I wish I had that muscle. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like she looks exactly right out of the video game. I mean, like that's muscular.
Yeah, she does.
Muscular.
Look at her.
I have a white fan just like that, but that's about all I have. I would like the rest of that attached to it.
Oh, look at that waist. Dang.
Yeah.
All that workout just to cosplay.
Yeah. I've followed her for a long time. I think she's just absolutely she's married and blah blah blah, but it's just one of those like, no, you are by far awesome.
Hang on a second, dude. Is that fake?
Huh?
That butt cheek is way too big, man.
No,
is that
it
fake?
No, that's hers.
No, it's hers.
That's real?
Hers. Yeah, it's all real.
That's real?
Go to your Instagram. You can see more pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear someone going,
I don't know.
I don't think that's real, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's
Do
Photoshop.
you think? No, it's not.
I think that's Photoshop.
Look for another butt. Look for another
Go
butt
find
shot.
another picture. She's got a couple of butt shots.
Look for needle injections.
There you go.
Okay, so she's purposely standing forward.
Oh, there's
She's
a
arching
lot
it.
of those pictures like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's an asset of her photo shots.
Okay, look, check it out. Check it out. Check this part out right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then check out this muscle right here, right?
Yeah, there's a muscle group there.
There's no muscle group right here.
Oh, that's just the lighter conversation.
Well, she's not she didn't cut weight because she had to cut weight for the photo shoot, so she's more ripped. But this is her normal
yeah, she gets ready for a lot of her competition stuff.
Yeah, that must be a.
Damn, it must suck if she goes through like a cramp or something. I mean, dude, it's like, how do you stretch that out, man? That's like, oh,
She's
crap.
beautiful.
Hey, oh,
Yeah, I wish.
But
wish
if you go back to her Instagram like 2 or 3 years ago or 5 years ago, like she's really thin, and she's also like a chemist, I believe. That's her day job.
Oh, she's got brain and body.
Yeah, well, the body just came recently.
I don't think that's natural, to be honest.
You don't think so?
No.
No, but you don't meet many girls like that.
No.
What she looked like before? I'm curious now.
If you scroll all the way back, she's like a lot thinner, like a way thinner, no muscle mass. She's still really good looking, you know, like your basic model. But then she just like, I started working out and, you know, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And then bam.
Wow.
No, I don't think I've seen. I mean, unless she was, I don't think I've seen that kind of growth. I mean,
which it wasn't growth.
Me personally, it
was really leaning up.
She was already that big when she was thin.
She had to put a little muscle mass, but not a lot. This is all really thin on her own end too. It's just she leaned up on her end and then built a little muscle mass through creatine or whatever she's using that will swell up the muscles a little bit with water.
It takes a lot of work to create that.
That's a lot of calories to grow glutes that big.
It takes a lot of calories,
especially for Asian.
Yeah.
Dang, I wish I had arms like that. Seriously, man, if I had oh yeah, dude, I would purposely wear tighter shirts.
Gosh, I would purposely wear tighter shirts.
Yeah. Check out those arms. Look at that. That's crazy. She looks dehydrated here.
She has to be. That's
probably is.
And anytime there's a photo shoot involved, there's water cut involved.
Oh.
How many hours do they cut water?
Usually the 3 or 4 days beforehand.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. About a week, 3 or 4 days.
Okay, we're not going to get to our last topic, but because we're on Instagram, I got to ask you guys a question because, okay, on Instagram, I have never, ever, ever selected the magnifying glass. And then every time...
was that the search?
Yeah, never.
Search, right?
I've never done it before. And then all of a sudden, all these pictures of like women start showing up, and I'm like, "What is this, dude? I don't search for women," but they're showing up, and of course, I'm with my son, right? So I'm like, "All right, let's look at some of this, man." So I'm showing him. I'm like, "Let's look at some of this." And there's a couple. Okay, here it is. There's a couple that I came across, and I'm like, "Dude, that's fake, dude. It's hella fake, man. It looks like it was Photoshop." I'll give you an example.
Are you gonna put it up?
Yeah.
Look, Ike sandwiches. I'm hungry. Shrimp.
Oh man, am I spelling this wrong? Crap. All right, hang on. Let me stop sharing first. I wanna get this right.
Come here.
Okay, here it is. This looks hella fake, dude. Oh man. Oh boy. Okay, here it is.
Whoa.
Fake.
Dude. There you go.
It's
Does that look
amazing.
fake? Look at the size of her head compared to all this.
She made her look like a Kardashian.
Oh my gosh, this is hella fake, right? That's
Was she Korean?
yeah.
Yeah, she's Korean.
It's fake. It's fake for sure.
What? Why do you guys say that?
I didn't say it's fake.
Your poor knee. Hope you're okay. Did you guys see that comment?
Yeah.
They're big on plastic surgery.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Very big
but
on
but
plastic
but,
surgery.
but look at the size of her head. That is not proportioned to the size of her body.
Wait, find one that shows a little bit more cleavage. without being pushed up.
Like
It could
that?
be it could be natural because some. I mean,
She's wearing a
one
bra there.
1 or 2%.
Gosh. Oh, the makeup on her face just makes her look like a mannequin.
Lots of blush.
It looked like I don't know, man. I just feel like okay, yeah, I do see something here.
What do you
Look,
see?
okay, see this stomach line right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's not completely flat.
No, I think she used
But
to
if
be
you
more
look
of a
here,
heavyset girl.
why is this completely flat? Dude, this had to be Photoshop right here, man.
Oh, it is photoshopped in Korea. I can tell you that.
That's
I remember when
hella
I went to go
Photoshop.
get when I was living in South Korea, I remember going over to get some pictures taken, and they photoshopped the scar off my face.
Oh, did
I
they?
have a scar that kind of runs over my eye. I had a couple stitches back in the day,
And they just photoshopped it without your permission.
they gave me back. It's like we professionally upgraded your photos for you, and I'm all like, what the hell? How come my face is all perfect? I thought I had a pimple on my face.
Okay.
You know?
Look, okay, I know this is a weird angle, and I know like something closer will always look bigger, but just the size of her head, her face don't look proportioned to her body. That looks so that's fake. Danny, you're saying this is hella fake.
I believe so.
I think there's a lot of Photoshop.
I think she used to be a little heavier set, and she kind of lost a little weight by watching what she was eating.
That a boy.
That's my take. I'm gonna live with that ideology.
That a boy.
She's just a little heavier set. She just started, doing a couple of squats, going to the gym, but she didn't lose everything. She just, she just worked on certain areas.
But look at the size of her head.
Yeah,
You're
usually
tripping off
yeah.
of that.
It just looks too small. It just it looks so small, dude. It's like it's like imagine like a squirrel's head like on a dog's body. I mean, come on, man.
A squirrel's head on a dog's body.
I'm not making fun. I'm not saying she's whatever. I'm just saying it just looks fake. That's all I'm saying.
How did you find her?
I just clicked. I've never clicked on this
Toki.
search.
Oh yeah, the search.
where
That's
she's
right.
at.
That's
She's
what it
on
was.
that.
I never clicked on it, man. And the first time, and I was like, "What is this? How come it looks weird?" Like how come it looks like really like it's overly done? So do it right now. You got Instagram, right, Joy?
Yeah, I do.
So what happens when you click on that magnifying glass?
Am I supposed to look at it from my phone? I'm looking at it.
Oh, are you on your phone right now?
Yep. Let me magnifying glass. I see Demi Lovato singing the Star Spangled Banner. And I see a little kid holding balloons. And I see.
How can we get all this, and how come I get all this like?
It depends on what you search
people?
for. I've got MMA fighter right over here. I got giant. I don't know. I got a whole gamut of people.
I got a lot of MMA fighters too.
Yeah. I've got someone eating noodles. That looks good. I've got hair. I've got someone sporting clothes. I've got a beach run. And a Spartan. I don't know. I don't know why I have these.
For me, I feel like the algorithm is the on what you like, what you
Probably
like.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of workout videos and obviously dogs. So like I think it really comes from the the algorithm of you liking certain pictures and even though you didn't search it, but you like it, it's gonna stay in the algorithm.
The only person I consistently like is someone working out. Like one of my friends, she works out and she does like, I don't know, maybe 100 push-ups a day, and she always does video of her. And I would just like it. I don't watch it all the way through, but I just like because I'm like, hey, she's doing hella push-ups. But maybe that's why it's affecting my search because I'm like all these people like working out.
Probably. I mean, that makes sense.
You yeah.
Does anybody follow any interesting stars?
Like stars in the sky?
I meant like on Instagram.
Celebrities?
Yeah, those people.
I don't.
No.
Not too much.
No.
Oh, I follow your basic the basic people that I know. You know, like some of the Avengers people, obviously, like the Hemsworths. You know, I don't follow the Kims, but I do follow Snoop Dogg. Because he's hilariously funny when he puts stuff up. I follow Robert Downey Jr. You know, as he's following around on that stuff.
He posts good stuff.
He every now and then he's posting his upcoming videos and stuff like that, or just him messing around on the scene. But you know, once in a blue moon, you'll see him do some martial arts stuff, which is always interesting because he's a Wing Chun traditional practitioner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's one of the things that actually he swears by that straightened his life out, which is doing Wing Chun. So you know, and he does some of those movements in the Marvel movies, like in the Civil War. You know, with Captain America, and he fought. You know what's their name? He did a bunch of that stuff in there. And he did a little bit of that in Iron Man 3, but tons of that in Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah, he definitely busted out a lot of Wing Chun in there. Just people didn't know it. It's like when I saw it, I was like, wait, dude, was that like a Wing Chun straight punch? Did he just talk? Did he just bong? I was like, holy snap, it's Wing Chun.
I want to sing the song.
Sorry. Is it pop? Is it bomb? Something like a child song right there. I do follow the other stupid cartoon memes. I do follow Rick and Morty.
Oh my god, Rick and Morty.
I have a lot of funny memes. Have you ever seen a show or anything like that, Joy?
Should I? Is it like Beavis and Butthead?
No, it's like Back to the Future. But they take out all the creepy stuff out of it.
Back to the Future was creepy?
Well, if you think about it, you have a 16-year-old kid hanging out with a random dude down the street named Doc.
They were best friends.
That's not creepy.
What's strange about that?
Oh, okay. So you're telling me and Family Guy where, you know, the son always has that old guy just like...
Freaking Herbert.
Well, at least you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
But, you know, you're telling me that's not creepy?
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
Okay. Rick and Morty, they change it up. It's his grandpa.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, so it actually has a different feel to it. You know, if you're a big fan and you loved your grandpa, it's one of those really cool things. They don't go back into time. They go to parallel dimensions.
Oh, interesting.
So they go sideways. It's an adult show.
So expect some swearing and adult themes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch it with your headphones on. Yeah.
Right.
That's what I need to do.
Yes, Roy, and I would recommend it to you too.
Yeah. So you know the whole thing about the sauna. No, I don't feel good about going to sauna no more, dude.
You actually go to a sauna?
Like anywhere. Like no. I mean, I think I've been there once, but I always sat on a towel.
You can still sit on a towel.
Roy, my question to you is, why do you have to strip down?
No, I never do. I never did.
I used to just go in there with my shorts and a towel, but I wouldn't wrap it over me. I would have that gym towel, the smaller one, and I would just wipe my sweat off. That was all I was using, and go in there with a bottle of water. You just go in there with your shorts, and you know, for me, how I used to work out, I would just, you know, back in the day when I started going to the sauna at 24 Hour Fitness, you know, you go to your locker room, you go grab the flip flops, you put that on, you know, you're still in shorts that you're working out, and you just take off your shirt and go into the sauna.
And make sure you wear flip flops. I caught a bad case of athlete's foot.
Yeah.
Just for like just a quick second of just barefoot. And
TMI, man. But thank you for the PSA.
Make sure.
I was trying to keep it PG, you know. I just say go get your flip flops.
So if you have athlete's foot, do you like piss on it to like?
Yeah, you
That's
should.
jellyfish, man.
No, you should still piss on your feet, you know, in the shower.
In the shower, not in the sauna.
Yeah, you got to go anyways.
Well, you know, I don't want in the sauna where people smell your, you know, your urine in there. Now it looks just everywhere else in San Francisco.
Right.
Oh man.
And on that note,
I'm just.
Hey, I'll tell you one side note. The funny thing about peeing on your feet, you know where I learned that from?
Bear Grylls.
I saw it on a Tonight Show where it was Madonna who said that on public TV.
What year was that?
That was like back in the 90s.
What,
Back in the 90s, you know the first time I heard that?
Yeah.
And Joy's going to say it. It was on a
Friends.
TV show.
It's on Friends.
Yeah.
Come on now. With Monica.
You know, I always wanted to do that, though. I always wanted to try it. I was like, jellyfish, sea urchin. Step in it. Step in it. Let me piss on your foot.
My son.
But let me get it like right below your knee so that it drips down. So we don't waste it, you know, because, you know, might
I
have
don't
some
want to waste
weird,
nothing.
the strong winds might affect it, you know. So.
Wow, secretly you sort of whip it out.
Don't take me to the, yeah.
It's his secret.
And and you know what? I'll go back into the ocean and I'll wash my hands. I'll wash my hands in the ocean.
Obviously, it doesn't matter because, you know, it's all salty anyways.
Yeah, man, I'll definitely do that. All right, well, this is interesting. We had a very interesting conversation today. And I'm going to wash my hands. And I'm going to look around when, like, some guy, like, walks into a restroom. I'm going to make sure they wash their hands.
What you going to do? Wash your hands.
Yo, man, wash your hands.
Aren't we civilized people here? Wash your hands.
All right, I'm Roy.
I'm Jay.
I'm Joy.
I'm Kinsey.
I'm Danny.
And you're listening to Cins Radio.